What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having an outstanding holiday season, getting ready for Christmas and the new year. And most importantly, I hope you're very excited about what you're going to be doing to get ready for 2023 and to absolutely dominate 2023. So I think we've got a recording here. We got the replay we'll send out. We've got it in the Facebook live group as well. So welcome, glad you guys are here. I would like to ask a quick question before we get started. What is everybody most excited about going into 2023? What are you most excited about? This is not a passive workshop. This is a business planning workshop for 2023, and we need your participation. So what do we got here? What are we most excited about going into 2023? All right, let's see what we got here. Merry everything, everyone, says Scott. Jorge, money, money, money. All excited about that. Margie, our famous speaker in our community who speaks around the globe, just like Les Brown, and making a positive impact, says opportunities. Cher says money, money, money. Stephanie says, I am super excited. Me and my husband are in business for ourselves this year. Heck yeah. That's what it's about. Because at some point you realize you have to take control, right? If you want to achieve the life of your dreams and create an epic life for you and your family, then it's going to take some independence. It's going to take something you can control. And there's a little quote out there that says, either you're going to be, real busy building someone else's dream, or hopefully you're building your own dream. And so that, my friends, is very true. What else we got here? Dana says possibility connections. I like it, Dana. Marie says expansion. Josh says crushing it and reaching the big goal. And I appreciate that. I want to give you guys permission to dream a little bit with your business plan, but we're going to dream within reality at the same time. And those are some of the things we're going to talk about. We've got an amazing business plan template that you're going to be able to download for free at the end of this workshop. And definitely going to be a workshop where I want you to ask questions, engage, share your ideas so that we're all learning together. If you've read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, there's a mastermind effect where infinite intelligence comes in and we get better ideas when the whole group is sharing. See what else we got here. Katrina says, becoming a millionaire. Absolutely. And, I think a lot of the time society, media, et cetera, other, maybe even friends or family will look at you and say, you can't talk like that. I feel like some of us, we grew up in a household where you don't talk about money. No one educates us about money, credit, finance, how all these things work. And so those are some of the things we're going to definitely be talking about today. Let's see. We've got someone's Gmail says, I'm excited about my projects in Africa. That is awesome. I was listening to a recent podcast about a company called Charity Water, who has helped a number of, people in African countries there who are struggling with bad drinking water, be able to get access to clean drinking water with wells being installed, built by their own people. They just needed the know-how and some of the equipment. And that's been an amazing charity there. Great example of projects and people making a difference in the countries there in Africa. Tracy says new opportunities. Judy, same thing. Austin says personal growth and development. Those are real things. If you're not getting better, you're probably getting worse. We don't stay in the same spot. We're either progressing or we're digressing. And that's something I believe to be true. Michael says coming out of COVID and being able to network, right? And that's so nice to be able to go and see people in person, shake some hands, and interact as humans. We were never meant to be, locked up in one place. And, the good folks there in China are really starting to realize that. They didn't realize that the rest of the world was free to move about until they saw the World Cup. So it's definitely blessed all of us to live in this great country. What else we got here? Sherry says better lifestyle. Yeah, we definitely want the lifestyle. And one of the most important components about your business plan is an emotional driver. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Todd says, I'm excited to be leaving 2022 and seeing a more financially stable future in 2023. And that's what's great about our community, right? We're entrepreneurs, we're small business owners. While a lot of America is expecting 2023 to be a worse year, a recession, as entrepreneurs and small business owners, we know we can control our universe and our system where we're at. And so we expect things to be better in 2023 than they were in 2022. Tracy says passive income. Absolutely. Passive income should be part of your business plan. We've got VJ says new beginnings, new opportunities, and to hit the ground running. Barbara, good to see you. Good to see you. Rosie, millionaire maker. Let's see. Building to be financially independent says Burn. Troubling economy equals opportunity for us. Very true. Very true. Tracy, trillionaire status. Well, maybe Elon Musk's will turn Tesla back around. Tesla's down 65%. So hopefully he gets it back up there or, I think whoever was listening to another podcast with billionaire Chamath, who was one of Facebook's big executives, and he believes that the first trillionaire will come from somebody who solves the energy issues around the world. I think he's probably right. Let's see. Stephanie says, our family has been visibly upset and angry. We are opening a wellness spa and want to help others. Stephanie, we're going to talk a little bit about enemies and how these enemies, even people within our friends and family group, sometimes can be very powerful in helping us to achieve and build something that changes the world, makes it a better place, and gives you that freedom that you're looking for and makes an impact, right? You're building that because you want to deliver an amazing experience and you think you can do it better than the competition. And that's, again, one of the hallmarks of a great business plan. Let's see. Looks like we got President Bill Clinton with us. Bill, appreciate you joining us. Bill Clinton says, helping the small business owner to thrive. Now, Bill, I really do support that. That's outstanding, Bill. Some of you maybe saw Saturday Night Live in the 90s. Boy, there were some good Bill Clinton skits, really great Bill Clinton skits. I mean, Will Ferrell and those guys, they were great. The best was when John Goodman was playing Moses, and Bill Clinton appears in the Old Testament there to talk to Moses. And Moses is doing the 10 Commandments. He's like, thou shalt not kill people. Oh, that's a good one. Thou shalt not lie still. Oh, I like that one. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Whoa. And then Bill Clinton shows up and he's like, now, Moses, that's my whole point. What if, and he says some funny stuff after that. All right, well, let's get into this business plan today. So we do these business plan trainings every year about the same time, usually about the third week of December. The reason we do them for free. We do them for our community. Obviously, we love entrepreneurs. We love small business owners. We believe that you guys are the ones who are going to change the world, make it a better place. You create the jobs in this country. Government does not do that, at least not very well. And so that's what we're all about. My name is Leo Cannell, founder of Seven Figures Funding, the My Figures Money app, and fortunate to help over 10,000 entrepreneurs secure financing and grow and create their dream business. And so we love being a support and a help and a tool for you to create your dream business in 2023. Some different tools that are available for you guys. Over the holiday here and into 2023, we've got a money show. It's on our Seven Figures Funding YouTube channel. It's a live show. We do it most Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. We talk about money. We talk about mindset. We talk about sports. We talk about family, freedom, politics even. And so that is an asset. It's a free show that we have content. We share the things that have helped us to build an 8-figure business and, a team of 35 amazing people here in our office, and the ability to serve thousands of business coaches and consultants and trainers whose clients need funding across the country. We also have another podcast that's called the Seven Figures Club podcast, and that's available on all the major platforms out there. We bring in great entrepreneurs who teach people how to market, how to do sales, how to do Amazon businesses, Airbnb businesses, invest in real estate, apartments, create brick and mortar businesses, create online businesses, new technologies. We've had people who have had multi-billion-dollar exits on that show, and it's been amazing to meet them all. So that's another tool that you can use. Of course, one of those tools to help you get your business plan right in 2023 is funding. Usually funding breaks down into 3 ways to qualify. If you have good credit, or some verifiable income, or your business is doing $15,000 a month in deposits, there's options for you to fund your business. Of course, we love serving startups and small business owners, which is why our team has so many 5-star reviews online. And there's other options out there, business lines of credit. There's an SBA Express loan. We're going to talk about funding and how important that can be for your business. And we're going to talk about systems and processes. We're going to talk about the different systems that you're going to need in your business. We're going to talk about your team, your culture, all different aspects of business. And at the end of this, we will have the free business plan template for you to download and answer the right questions. If you want to improve the quality of your life, you must improve the quality of the questions you're asking yourself, your clients, your team, your spouse, your partner, and that begins with this plan. And you can have a plan not only for your business, maybe you have a family plan going into 2023, things you want to do as a family that you want to accomplish. Maybe you have a plan with your local church of different things you want to do to help out in the community. Maybe you coach kids in sports like I do, and you want to make a difference there. Everything should have a plan, and it shouldn't be the problem. Here's the problem with most plans, guys. And let's talk about how it is, right? You set these New Year's resolutions. You're going to get in the best shape of your life. You go to the gym for 2 weeks. By the middle of February, no one's going to the gym anymore, and everybody's forgotten about those New Year's resolutions. Type in the chat box if you've ever done a business plan that way, where you put it together real quick, and by the middle of February, you never looked at it again. Raise your hand if you've done that, if you're guilty. I am. Type in the chat box if that has ever happened to you. All right, Austin says, unfortunately, a few times. Let's see, Hallie Ford says, me. It's definitely happened to me more than once. I've been in this entrepreneur game for 20 years, and I can tell you multiple years. And most of my unsuccessful years, that was exactly what happened. And the best years have been when I did take the time and I did the business plan right. And once you do it right, then you can build on it every single year. And then the sky is the limit to how far you can take it. Rosie says, yes. Jimmy says he's effed up a few times. Jimmy, been there, guilty. Barbara, yes. Austin, Marie, Hallie, guys, thanks for sharing. Again, this is not a passive workshop. This is an active business planning. Let's make 2023 our breakthrough year. And so we want to be excited. We want to get the mechanics, but we want emotional drivers that are going to push us as well. Now, guys, I just finished an all-day business plan training. It started last Friday with my mentor, Patrick David. There was about 100 of us, business owners, 8-9-figure business owners on this training. We all spent a decent amount of money to do this training with him. And it started at 6:30 in the morning, and it went 12 hours and ended at 7 o'clock Friday night. So to get ready for this business plan training, I did my own business plan training with my mentor. So big thanks to Patrick. Obviously, a lot of the things that I'm sharing here, are going to be part of that today. All right, let's break down the keys to success to doing your business plan right in 2023. Now, I remember it well. I started my first business. I started my first business in college, actually in 2001. It was a home painting business. Luckily, I learned to speak Spanish on a Mormon mission in Santiago, Chile. Came back, and the best painters in our area spoke Spanish. And because I spoke Spanish and I knocked on a bunch of doors, I built a $60,000 painting business that summer. Loved it. Loved working with people. Loved my team, my painters that we had. And that's when entrepreneurship was born in me. And I said, I will always be a business owner. I will control my destiny. My wife and I had gotten married super young. I'm like, hey, we're going to go on our honeymoon to Cancun. She did not believe me. By the end of that summer, we went on our honeymoon. So Then I started building my first multiple seven figures business. It was a mortgage company in my 20s. It did well. The real estate mortgage thing happened in 08, 09, and we lost everything, right? And it took a while to get back on track. And during those years, we were not on track. There was no business planning. I wasn't reading. I wasn't looking for mentors. And what's great about 2022 is you can find all these mentors online, YouTube channels, programs, so many ways for you to make progress. And it starts with doing it on a day-to-day basis. So let's talk about these keys to success. Number one, if you write your business plan and you treat it like a homework assignment, well, you're going to get that homework assignment result, right? You spend an hour, you put something together. You need to take multiple days to truly think through the details of what 2023 can be, what it should be, and how you can make it your breakthrough year. You need to dream big, but you need to dream big within reality. I'm all about, hey, let's all become billionaires, no question about it. But the reality is only 5% of business owners ever, break $1 million a year in sales, and even less of them break 8 figures. So if you can build a 7-figure business, that puts you in the top 5% of business owners in the US, and for sure the top 1% of the population on the planet, right? And so that's a big deal. So when I'm looking at my business plan for 2023 and every year, I'm looking to double or at least do 50% better than what I did the previous year. Now, I'd love to say I'm going to 10X, I'm going to 20X, I'm going to do all this crazy stuff, but I've been at this long enough to know that reality, is a little bit more difficult than that. And if we can double our income every single year, let's say you're making $100,000 in 2023, that's your goal. Maybe you did 75 or 80,000 in 2020. I'm going to do 125,000, right? In 2023. What if you double that the next year? Then you're at above 200. You double it again, you get 300, 400. All of a sudden, 5 years, you're making $1 million a year. In 10 years, you're making multiple millions a year. That's the power of doubling. And as there's a little quote by Bill Gates, I love this quote, and it says, we often underestimate what we can do in a decade, but we overestimate what we can do in a year. So if we have a long-term view, our odds for success go up. So don't overestimate what you can do in 1 year, but don't underestimate what you can do in a decade. And that's all overnight success usually takes a decade for that to happen. All right, we want to include logical actions and emotional drivers, right? It can't just be, oh, I'm going to do this and the numbers of this, I'm going to hire somebody. There's got to be something, emotional with it, right? It can't just be that it's just all logical stuff. There has to be an emotional connection with your goals and with your business plan in 2023. We've also got 9 business planning pillars that we're going to dive into tonight. And these 9 business planning pillars are going to set you up a foundation for success going into 2023. And most importantly, as I always say, if you want to get something done, it must be scheduled. If it's not in my calendar, guys, it's not happening. If I don't have my workout in there, it's not happening. If I don't have my son Marcus's soccer game in there, it's not happening. If I don't have my son Jonas's football practice, it's not happening. If I don't have my daughter Kayla's dance recital or dance program in the calendar, I'm not going to be there. It has to be in the calendar, guys. If it's not in the calendar, it's not happening. And one of the things we're going to talk about is the importance of looking at your business plan on a daily, weekly basis and scheduling that in there. The worst thing that can happen is you actually do put the time and the effort into your business plan and you don't look at it again and you just get disconnected from it. One of the easiest things to happen is you do put the effort in, you build a great business plan, and then life gets in the way. There's crazy things. You got family, you got all these responsibilities. It's easy to lose focus. Staying focused is the key. And that's why you want to be reviewing your business plan. And it's okay to make changes to it. Because, for example, last year, we had been working on this money app, and we'd been putting money into it. And for years, clients are like, how am I going to manage all my bank accounts, my loans, credit cards? Leo, this is a nightmare. So I'm like, hey, we'll create the 7 Figures app, because we're 7 Figures funding, right? And we created this app, and people would look at it and like, I don't get it. Why is it 7 Figures app? What is that even? Isn't it a money app? And so we're like, wow, you're right. That doesn't make sense. So halfway through last year, we're like, or 2022, we're like, maybe it should be called something different. So we went online. There was a website available, myfigures.com. And so we're like, well, what if it was My Figures? It's my money, it's my figures, it's my stuff. It's managing all my figures in one place. And like, all right, that's better. We did a survey on it. People liked it. And so we got myfigures.com. We changed the name. So you can change, you can pivot, and you want to change your business plan, but you need to be working on it and keeping track of it and looking at it, and especially the end results that you're looking for and what you need to do on a daily basis to achieve those results. So when we talk about taking multiple days, you want to go to a quiet place and create the outline and the details of your plan. If you could be somewhere quiet, whether that's going for a walk somewhere, whether it's driving somewhere, if it's too cold to get out, you might just sit in your car. Maybe it's going into a quiet room in your place where you live. Wherever it's at, there's going to be some moments over the next week or two with this holiday season where you can take some time. And what I like to do, I've got this little booklet here that I take with me everywhere. I'll write my goals down. I'll write my business plan in there, and I will look at that. And when you have good ideas, you got to write them down. Be completely honest with yourself and what happened in 2022. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Allow yourself to dream. Close your eyes. What if you could go 12 months into the future and it's December of 2023? What would you have wanted to accomplish that you could look back and say, wow, I'm really happy with what we got done in 2023? Take multiple days to do it. And let's talk about the next part, which is dreaming big. So I like to think in doubles, 100% annual growth. We talked about this, dream big, but don't overestimate what you can do in 1 year, but have a long-term look at what you can do in 10, and then set that goal to, if you can improve your income by 100% or your business by 100% every year, you're going to be in a great spot. All right, include logical actions and emotional drivers. I'm going to really dive into this one, because one of the mistakes I've made for a lot of years was I just would put logical things. Okay, I need to hit this number. I need to help this many people. I need to hire this type of person. I need to figure out marketing. I need to add more lenders. I need more funding partners, whatever it is for your business. But then I wouldn't have anything emotional. And the problem without having emotional things connected to your business plan is it gets very boring, and nobody wants to be bored. And so you've got to have some emotional items in there. It can't just be numbers and logical actions. Some emotional drivers like, hey, when I hit this number or I achieve this in my business, I'm taking my family to X location or vacation, right? Family experiences, travel, those things matter. Those things are what you'll remember for the rest of your life, what your kids will remember. Maybe it's a new home. Maybe it's home improvement because rates are high, and your home's actually really great and it's gone up in value. So maybe you're just going to do some home improvement. Maybe you want to do a theater room, or you want to add something to the backyard. That could be something that you do once you hit an achievement in 2023. So you have to have these emotional drivers, things that get you excited. Maybe it's something that your son, your daughter, your spouse, husband, wife really wants, needs, and you can get that for them when you achieve a certain target in 2023. But at the same time, you've got to have logical actions. It can't be all dreams. It's got to be, all right, well, here are the logical actions we're going to take and together we can make it happen, and then share it, right? One of the biggest things you'll see is somebody who goes online, and I've seen this. How many of you guys have heard of the 75 hard challenge? Type in the chat box if you have heard of the 75 hard challenge. How many are you familiar with that? Who's heard of that 75 hard challenge? So this is a crazy challenge. I've done it a few times here. Wild challenge. It says Austin, Margie, yes. So what it is you have to do 2 workouts in a day, 45 minutes each. One of them has to be outside. I did it in the month of March is when I started it. And so it was like 20 degrees in the morning, but yeah, I do my outdoor workout. And then you had to stick to a diet, not one cheat meal. If you put an M&M in your mouth, done, over. You have to start the 75 days over. So anyway, there's this group with tens of thousands of people on it in Facebook. I'm in that group as someone who's done that challenge. And in that challenge, there are people there who they'll tell you, they'll give you, take a picture. Hey, I'm 300 pounds. I'm 100 pounds overweight. I have trouble with, overeating. I got trouble with alcohol. I got all these issues. But you know what? I've got this goal. And everybody who is honest with themselves and shares with others what they're trying to do, that helps them to be accountable. So when you share with your, family, and we're talking close family, not the naysayer ones, but the family that loves you, that wants to help you, your immediate family, your children, your spouse, partner, etc. Like, let them know, here's what we want to do, and I need your help. I need you to help me. I need you to help me be accountable. We need to review this. Maybe you're doing it together with a husband, wife, spouse, partner, business partner. And so sharing those things is going to be helpful. Here are the 9 pillars we're going to be going over tonight, the business planning pillars. Number 1, the foundation for all the success we've had over the last several years, especially with at 7 figures funding, is the values and principles. I can look out through the glass in my office here, and I can see on the wall a lot of our values and principles, and I put those up when we opened this office 4 years ago. They're still up. Everybody knows that's what we stand for, and we hold everybody accountable, and you must do the same for you. Even if you're a solopreneur, even if it's just you, or you've got a team, it starts with values and principles. The next thing, what are the new skills you need to develop in 2023? And then you need to define your mission and theme. If you don't have a mission and your team doesn't have a mission and people don't know what your mission is, then they probably are going to work with someone else. You have to have something deeper than, hey, I've got a good product or service. People respond more to somebody who has a mission. And so you must have a mission with your business and a theme that you're focused on going into 2023. If you do, you're going to see a lot of success. All right. Number 4, dream outcomes, solve for X, emotional and numerical. So this is where you dream and you have some emotional drivers that are going to drive you to make one more call, drive you to go through the difficulty and the adversity, because let's not be surprised. We know the adversity is coming, right? The last 2 years, how many business owners, how many people have seen adversity? We're starting to see layoffs and job losses. Those are probably going to continue into 2023. More people are going to look to start businesses. More people are going to be looking for different jobs. There's going to be opportunities out there. And so you've got to be ready for those, right? And one of the best ways to deal with adversity is to have a why, or a dream that's bigger than the adversity you're dealing with. We're going to talk about some examples of that in my life, in your life, that maybe you've seen, of what it took and how those things helped you get through the tough times. Number 5, daily analytics for success. Think, instead of, dollars, I want to achieve a certain amount of dollars. Well, actually, what's the people behind that? How many people do you need to help? And if you help this amount of people, it'll take care of the money, right? So focus instead on numbers and analytics, and looking at that in terms of real people, clients that need your product or your service. Funding, obviously, we're a business finance funding marketplace. We love securing funds for businesses. And if you're a business owner, you're on this workshop today, you must have the funding aspect worked out. And not only today's funding, but you should be planning for next year's. Well, hey, if we can achieve these type of numbers and growth and our business tax returns look strong, and I'm showing some actual net income, and my business bank statement is showing a good average daily balance, I'm not bouncing checks, I'm keeping the balance, positive, and things are making progress on my profit and loss. These are things that are going to set you up for more funding and better funding and business credit, so that you have those lines of credit to fuel you going into the future. The worst thing that can happen is you put that off and you say, I'll do that in the future, and then it gets too late, you fall behind with something. The time to get access to money is before you actually need the money. We're going to talk about competition and enemies. And this has been one that I've really learned a lot about. And in the past 4 years, I'll be honest with you, when it was me and one employee, and we were sitting in my home office, and I had to start over because I had the wrong business partners, and build from the ground up. And this was just over 4 years ago, starting this company. And you better believe those enemies were driving me, right? And we're going to talk about defining who those enemies are. And it's going to surprise you who some of these enemies are that you don't realize are actually holding you back, and you need to turn them into fuel to help you make 2023 your year. Team. You've got to have a team. Even if you're a solopreneur, you still can build a team. And if you don't build a team, then it'll all be on you, right? And it's going to be on you either way as an entrepreneur. But when you build a team, it takes that pressure. It allows you to be able to go on vacation. It allows you to make money, especially in certain industries like ours, where you're winning, even if you're not working every second of the day. That's the power of building a business with leverage, and having a team that can help you do that is super important and valuable. And the last, after we've gone through the training, let's get to the plan. Let's share that business plan template with you guys so that you can answer those questions, take the time, and then build that business plan that you can look at all year long. And there's more details. This is just a template. And all of you, it's a Google document. You're going to be able to go to File, make a copy of it in order to customize it, make it your own, and you can add to it and make it as long or as short as you want to make it. All right. So number one, of course, you need to schedule when you're going to complete your business plan. And as we've discussed, we don't want to take, I'm just going to do it, for 1 hour tomorrow from 2 to 3. You want to take some time with it. So maybe you need to schedule an hour a day or a half hour a day for the next week, where you're going to really think about it and work on it. And the interesting thing that will happen, sometimes you get, oh, this is such a great idea. 2 days later, you come back to, actually, that wasn't that great an idea. But hey, if you come back to that same idea 2 days later and it's still a good idea, that's a good sign. So either way, schedule when you are going to complete your business plan and start working on it. Even during the holiday season. I mean, there's only so many toys and things we can do with the family. There's a lot of downtime where we're just, scrolling on phones or watching TV or streaming the latest, maybe we're streaming the latest Jack Ryan season 3 on Amazon. I got to be honest, I'm pretty excited to watch that. But schedule that time when you're going to be able to work on that. And then look at it daily, all year long. This is actually a whiteboard. I've got whiteboards all over the office. I've got them in every one of my children's rooms. I got 5 kids. They all have one in the room. So my daughter didn't like her, so she took it down. But everybody has a whiteboard. And the reason I do that is so I can put my business plan there. I can look at it at my business office. I've got it in my home office. I've got one in my bathroom. Kind of annoys my wife, but now she's using it too. And so these whiteboards are awesome. Print out your business plan, have it everywhere so that you can look at it all year long. If you focus and review it daily, good things are going to happen. Now, before you get started here, before we jump into the 9 pillars of building that very productive business plan, the first question we have to ask ourselves is, how did you perform in 2022. If any of you want to take that question on and answer it, this is a family, it's a community. We're all on the same page here, right? Yeah, it's a good idea, right, Francois? Those whiteboards are awesome. I know you've got an awesome family and kids too. And so it's a great idea. And then when you have those ideas, you can write on them and it's always there. It's flexible. It's dry erase. You can change it. So love that. All right. Charles says a lot of trial and error in 2027. Info at Trillion Capital says year of transition. Hey, I've been there. And sometimes we go through a year where we're building a foundation, and then the next year we get to grow. The next year we get to grow our income, but we had to build that foundation. Maybe we didn't see all the results we wanted to, but we wouldn't actually be able to get to the success without building the foundation first. All right, Gary says foundation for 3 years. President Clinton is retired and bored. I believe that. And I won't mention anything about Hillary. iPhone says year of servitude. Okay. Rosie says fell short of my goal, but did better than the year before. Josh says a lot of preparation and personal development with exponential growth in mind. That's outstanding, Josh. SOP, standard operating procedure. Very good point. SOPs are important because all parts of your businesses can be systematized and created and processes created. So the first question I would ask is, did you build a 2022 business plan with targets and actions and emotional drivers? Now, some of you maybe were here with us last year at this time when we were doing the business plan training last year, but did you do that? Did you create a business plan for 2022? If you didn't, well, hey, you're already on the right path, building your business plan for this year, right? Jorge says dominated. Heck yeah, great job, Jorge. Gary says no, that's a great question. Josh says no. Abdallah says didn't meet my business plan because of illness of family member. Those things happen. Those are things outside of our control. And that's why, one of my values and principles is to control what you can control, and that's what it's all about, right? Procrastination, says Brenda. Byrne says slowed down last quarter due to higher interest rates. Maybe you are in real estate, mortgages, and these higher interest rates have really slowed you down. And so you have to pivot and be able to, create additional income streams. And that's important. And then there are other things that are important concepts like recession proof. What part of your business or what type of business can you add to what you do that is recession proof? I remember, being in that real estate mortgage space full time in 2005, 6, 7, when 08, 09 hit, I found out that profession was not recession proof. And a lot of people, that are in real estate mortgages are seeing that happen in 2022. The mortgage business has been just absolutely stifled. Some of them are down 80, 90%. We get loan officers, applying all the time. A lot of them are becoming funding CEOs in our business finance program. So whatever business you're in, you have to understand there's times when you have to pivot, change, transform, add additional income streams, or sometimes do something new altogether. So those are things that you got to be aware of, right? So maybe those are some of the things that went wrong. Maybe you had a business plan. Maybe you had an illness. Maybe, you had an employee who killed your business and you had to fire him and then start over and you had to do twice as much work and find someone else. I remember in 2015 with one of my first business finance companies, we were struggling to find a sales guy. Like we hired one, trained to work with them. The next month we'd fire him and hire another one. And this happened for like 5 months in a row until finally we found the right guy. So whatever it is that goes wrong, you've got to figure out what's going wrong in your business. What do you need to do to get back on track? So based on 2022, what do you need to focus on in order to achieve a breakthrough year in 2023? Type in the chat box, what do you need to focus on in order to achieve a breakthrough year in 2023 based on what you learned in 2022? I mean, We couldn't have predicted the pandemic in 2020. A lot of us had to, I mean, we had 15 events canceled. That was how we were getting 60% of our business at that time. We had to pivot on completely to virtual events and virtual workshops and funding partners doing it that way. And it was a big pivot, and it took us 4 months to figure it out. But then every month after that was a record month. So what is it that's happening in your business right now that you need to pivot and learn from going into 2023? See, good foundational time. Now onward. Gary says, wow, you guys do funny. Yes, we did. Yep, we sure do. Lead generation. Jorge says lead generation is something he has to focus on. And I bet almost all of us do, right? How are you going to generate better and higher quality leads going into 2023? Are you going to use a Dream 100 concept that we talk a lot about in Funding CEO Academy? Are you going to, do online marketing? Are you going to create a personal brand? What is it you're doing? Are you going to focus in on LinkedIn? Big opportunities there. Okay. Francois says, super organized and everything systematized. I like it. Michelle says, have more in-person events and contact more people. Sometimes it's just a matter of knocking on more doors, right? We had a guy in our community who was literally knocking on business owner doors. He knocked on 150 of them to get an ERC, employee retention credit deal done. And 5 of those 150 said yes. And he made $24,000 on one deal. But most people stop after they knock on the first 25 doors and they get a no, right? I remember my 2 boys were out knocking doors in the summer doing curb painting sales, and they had 45 no's in a row. And then they got 3 in a row after that. You got to knock on more doors. Stick to the plan. Sometimes you got a great plan. You just got to be patient. I like that, Valerie. Burns is buying and renovating my own investment properties. Maurice is mastering prospecting and recruiting on social media platforms. Guys, you got Facebook groups, you got LinkedIn. Like, you actually don't even have to spend money. You can do it organically these days without even leaving your home. Get better leads with the Dream 100. I love it, Francois. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right, let's jump into these 9 business planning pillars. Again, we just reviewed them: values, principles, new skills, define that mission, dream outcomes, emotional drivers, the daily analytics. You might have like an annual goal of, hey, I want to make $200,000 in personal income. Okay, to get there, I need to help this many clients over the next year. That breaks down to this much over a month, this much per week, this much per day. And you can really get into the details. Funding, we talked about. Competition, enemies, your team, write your plan. Let's go into number 1. All right. Why is it important to create values and principles that you stand by that are non-negotiable? Type in the chat box. Why do you think values and principles are going to be vital for your success in 2023? Barbara says, branding, do what I say, learn LinkedIn, complete my business plan. Barbara, that's excellent. Excellent. Give Barbara a hand. Let's see. Margie says it sets a standard. I was watching last night about the Rockefellers, John D. Rockefeller, who is kind of the father of the gasoline industry, if you will, in the 1800s, 1900s. And he started his company called Standard Oil, and immediately said he had high standards. And he was a guy who did have some values and principles, and obviously very successful. Michael says it will hold me accountable. Accountability is one of Todd's. I like that. Principles and values hold you responsible. They set the tone. Guys, so it was back in 2016, actually. I started this business funding company out of my kitchen, had 4 guys in there. We grew really fast to 50 employees and really fast, got a big office. And by the time 2017 had ended, I'd brought on the wrong partners, and there were no values and principles in this company that I'd built. And my partners were violating every value and principle I held dear. They broke their word. They broke their promises. They didn't follow through with partners and clients and employees, and just no values and principles, whining, complaining, talking bad about other parts, just not the type of values and principles that lead to success. And that's why I had to leave and start over. And so when I did, as you can see right here on the wall, the first one I said is we're going to do what we say we're going to do. When we make a promise, we're going to move heaven and earth to make that happen. If you have that one value and principle, you're in the top 5 to 10% of every business in whatever industry you're in, because most don't keep their word. They just don't. They violate their promises to their clients. They violate their promises to their employees. If you can make promises and keep them, you're going to do well. That's got to be a value and principle. If you look to the lower right here, we had 4 keys that we wanted our team to focus on in 2021. They were: do what you say you will do, show up to your appointments, listen with the intent to understand. How often do we get on a sales call and we're only thinking about responding in a way that helps us instead of actually listening to what their need is? People will tell you what they need. If you listen and you tell them you understand and you present a solution that solves that problem, you'll do very well. If you just are thinking about what you want to say and what you want to sell them, probably won't do so well. Love your client like your brother or sister. That's something we take seriously around here. And they got to become an expert. What if you're in funding, if you're in e-commerce, if you're in real estate, whatever you're doing, it all starts with becoming an expert. So think about the values and principles you and your team need to live by and represent in 2023. When they come to mind, write them down. And I think it's important to write them down in a way that you would say it, right? Don't just go onto someone's website and copy their values and principles. Don't copy mine, but say in a way, it might be very similar, but say in a way that means something to you, that differentiates it in your mind. And then put those values and principles up on a wall. Sometimes as a family, you need to have values and principles on the wall, right? Your children need to see those values and principles. They need to live by it, right? So do what you say you will do. Another one I have is unreasonably optimistic. I can't tell you how many times, I've gotten on the phone with somebody, they're having a bad day, everything's bad, and all they can do is focus on the negative instead of, hey, let's focus on what you really want. Which are the solutions? Let's not make love to problems. Let's make love to solutions. Those are much, much, much more pleasurable, trust me. And then relentless, right? That's another value that we hold dear. We're not giving up. We're going to keep following up on that client till we get a yes or a no. We're going to keep following up with that partner till we get a yes or a no. We're going to keep going after the big dream until we get it done. We're not giving up. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to, waste time, but we're going to be relentless in pursuing success and focusing on those solutions. So think about the values and principles you need. This is the foundation for your success. Now, the next question, the second pillar, that was the first, is the values and principles. Second is new skills. What are the new skills you need to dominate in 2023? And by the way, that's a picture with me and Gary Vaynerchuk. He came to Utah, sponsored an event, had a good time hanging out with him. Gary's famous for saying, focus on your strengths, right? And he's right. You want to focus in on your strengths. But I'll tell you this, guys, to really succeed, you have to learn some new skills that you might not have at the beginning, you might suck at, but the more you work at it, the better you will get. So yes, bet on those strengths, but if you want to really get better, you've got to take some of those weak things and make them strong. For example, in the 1980s, 2 of the best basketball players were Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And these guys would always work every summer in between the seasons to get better. And Magic said he remembered one year where Larry came back and he was completely ambidextrous. He could shoot and do anything he wanted with his left hand. And it wasn't like that before. And he noticed how hard he worked at that. So Magic did the same thing. And then Magic would work on one thing. And these guys were just always competing and making something that wasn't strong turn into a skill. And so new skills can translate into big wins. To have your breakthrough year, what are those new skills that you need? Type in the chat box, what are some new skills you think you need to win in 2023? All right, Glenn is saying networking. That's a skill, right? The ability to go to an event and maybe you're an introvert and you're not used to, I'm an introvert. I can't talk to people. You know what? I see introverts. that don't talk to people. They don't go out and mingle with strangers, but they'll go to a networking event, get outside their comfort zone. They have learned that networking skill. They'll ask good questions. They'll be very personable, and people will just, wow, I love that person. They're just amazing. I want to do business with that person. You can make these weak things strong. Team management, says Jorge. Francois wants to learn more about the Metaverse 3.0 and understanding how to navigate it and be the first. He wants to be an early adopter and dominate. New technologies are a great way to do that. Barbara's saying, Margie, you are already strong in that area. Michael says, computer skills, patience. Hey, computer skills is a very good one, and so is patience, right? Technology is changing so fast. Like if you're not using it regularly, it's easy to fall behind. And so that's a good thing to work on. Stronger on analyzing financials and structures on business deals to get them closed, says Angela. It's good. Tracy says time management. Very true. We all need work on that. That's why that Google Calendar is so important to making your time count. All right. Anita says problem solving. Hey, that's true, right? We know the problems are coming. So how can we solve them? How can we break them down? Social media, says Valerie. I like that. Social media, and sometimes with social media, we get overwhelmed. There's so much social media, so you just want to start with one, right? Hey, I'm just going to get really good at LinkedIn, or I'm going to get really good at Facebook. Whichever one you're comfortable with, that's a good way to start. Better follow-up skills, said Judy. I always say the future is in the follow-up. If you have automated text messages and emails going out through your CRM as part of the system and the process to follow up with your clients, follow-up is very important. Some other examples, maybe public speaking, maybe creating videos. I remember, it's interesting. I hadn't done any public speaking since high school. And the first event I did, it was interesting. It was an event in the Dominican Republic, oddly enough, entrepreneur event. There was 100 entrepreneurs there, and flew there and spoke and really worked on that. And I'll be honest with you, that first one, not so good. Margie's a professional speaker herself. She knows what I'm talking about. But sometimes you start something not that good, but then you learn. And then it's funny, a week ago, I was with one of my speaking mentors, Bill Walsh, who's a great speaker, and Les Brown was keynoting at that event. We were doing funding for it, and I got on stage, and everything I learned about engaging the audience and asking them questions and telling stories, and it all came full circle. And that's what happens. You can start out with a skill that wasn't very good at the beginning, and later can actually become something that really helps you. What books do you need to read that can help you learn these skills? We live in 2022. We've got this thing called Audible on our phones, right? I can look up any, subject I want, and there's a book with 1,000 5-star reviews that pretty much tells me and teaches me from an expert how to get good at something. What books do I need to read to get better at that skill? What training programs do I need? What YouTube videos do I need to watch, right? So put that together and figure out those new skills so you can make 2023 your breakthrough year. Next, define your company mission and theme for 2023. And sometimes this will change. Our company mission is pretty set in stone. It's right there on the wall. I can see it right there in the corner of the wall. It's right here in the corner of this slide. It says, hey, we're going to relentlessly provide innovative entrepreneurial funding and education that gives entrepreneurs the capital, confidence, and tools to create their dream business and life. And even though we add new products and new strategies and new tools, that mission hasn't changed. And sometimes your mission will change. Sometimes you'll start out one way and you realize, you know what, actually, I want to serve this community. When I started out a decade ago into business funding, I wanted to do massive commercial real estate deals, and I started doing so. One of those deals took 11 months. I made $25,000 on it. And I started to break it down into my hourly, all the time I'd put. I'm like, wow, that took a lot of time, and it could have died a million times. And then I realized, well, actually, who I really want to help is the small business owner, the startup business owner, entrepreneur who just needs that initial 50 to 150,000 to get started, I want to work with them. And so I changed my mission. So create a mission that you think is going to be your mission in 2023, and then listen to the market, listen to the opportunities, listen to what you end up liking, and maybe you'll change it. But if you don't have a mission, then you'll never be clear. Your team will never be clear about who you serve and what you want to do to make a difference. And sometimes you need a really big vision. I can put a number on this. So another one of our vision mission goals is we want to impact 1 million business owners in the US. That's another one of the goals that we have. And so it's good to have what Jim Collins, one of the great business authors out there, author of Good to Great, an amazing book, but he talks about the most successful businesses and entrepreneurs will have what's called a big, hairy, audacious goal. That's maybe the 10-year goal, right? Now, I don't know how we're going to help 1 million business owners. We've helped a few, maybe 10, 15, 20,000 over the years in different ways, shapes, or form. And we're helping more every single year. So I'm not sure how we're going to do. Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure it's going to be our money app, which I'm going to show you guys a little bit later. But whatever your mission is, you might not be sure how you're going to do it because it's a 10-year mission, but you can make some serious, headway towards that mission getting done in 2023, whatever it is. All right. Next is dream outcomes. This is what my mentor PBD and I call solving for X. As the wonderful author David Covey, or excuse me, not David Covey, that was his son who he helped with funding, but Stephen Covey, who's the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of those habits is successful people start with the end in mind. So this is what I love about this entire concept and this slide here, right? Imagine that it's December 21st, so 365 days into the future, 2023. What would you have needed to achieve to be able to look back completely satisfied with the results and efforts you got in 2023? What would you have to have achieved and done to be like, hey, mission completion, right? You guys ever watched Little Einsteins back in the day? Maybe your kids did. My kids sure did. Really good educational show, but they would get to the end and like mission completion. Mission completion. If you're the end of 2023, what would you have needed to do to look back and said, I did everything I wanted to do? I'm very happy with the results. And if you look back right now and you think back to January of 2022, are you satisfied with where you wanted to be at the end of 2022? And if you're not, well, let's think about what we need to do so that a year from now, we've achieved that. So what are your revenues and net profits? What would they need to look like to make 2023 a breakthrough year for you? What would your personal income need to be? Would it be your best? And hopefully it's your best ever, right? Your best personal income year ever is 2023. Your highest revenue and net profits for your business, 2023. What epic family or partner trip experiences would your family have gone on because you hit these amazing targets? And by the way, I'm not talking about, hey, we're going to go on this vacation just because we're planning it. I'm talking about something really awesome, and we only go if we hit the target, and we pay cash. We don't go into debt for it, right? I'm talking about that type of thing because we hit a target, because we hit something. And if we don't hit it, we don't go. That's going to drive you, right? Is that going to help you, make that one more phone call, that one more connection in LinkedIn when you have something emotional like that? What cash flow investment would change your life? Some of you I hear real estate investors. There's going to be a lot of opportunities in real estate. Things are going to be on sale in 2023. Sellers are going to be more flexible than ever with rates still high. So there's going to be opportunities. Sometimes there's businesses you can buy. There's going to be opportunities to do something within your business. There's going to be a lot of opportunity in business finance. Businesses are going to need more money to get through what may be a tough recession in 2023. So what would change your life, right? Is it a rental property, an Airbnb property, a business that you could buy, just investing more in your business? And what issue are you and your family facing that could be helped? Obviously, money doesn't solve all problems, but it can help some, right? You know, what person or member in your family has an issue that, boy, if I had an extra $5,000, I could help out, I would do that, right? Wow, my mother-in-law's got really bad arthritis. If I could get this medicine for her, and it's going to cost an extra, $500 a month, but if I could come up with that because I hit these targets in my business, how awesome would that be? That's an emotional driver. I had an awesome guy, Jorge, on my podcast, big Airbnb guy. And he said, you know what? I just wanted my mom to be able to own a home, to live in a home that we owned. She'd never done that. She was never going to do that. And that was his why. And 18 months later, he did it. And that drove him. That drove him to be obsessed and to work hard like he never had before. So what's something like that you could do? In October, my wife and I took her parents, that's Gail and Norma, and our 5 kids were right there in Avatar Land at Disney World. That was pretty awesome. That's something we had wanted to do for a while, was to take them there. They're in their 70s. They probably won't go back again, but it was awesome that we could take them there, that we could pay for them to do that, because they wouldn't have done it on their own. And it was just awesome to be able to do that. That was something we did just a couple months ago, right? A year ago, we were supposed to go watch Tom Brady play, and that was one of my targets, that if I hit certain targets in my business, I was going to reward myself and go watch Tom Brady. So we had tickets to go see the Bucs and Saints play last December, a year ago. And my son actually broke his arm at a wakeboarding park, so we weren't able to make it. But fortunately, we were able to go for week 1 here, Cowboys Stadium. That's Tom Brady right there in the background. My wife and I were able to go with Ty, Nate, and their wives, our partners here. And what an awesome time that was, right? In April, we were able to take our family and our company, a lot of our funding CEOs, Francois, Phil, you guys on the call here with us, to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. These are all emotional drivers that we were able to do. And I wouldn't have let anybody do them if we didn't hit them. These were from numbers that we hit actually in 2021. And so it was awesome to be able to take our family and our company and our top CEOs in our funding CEO program to paradise. In May, we took our sales team because they hit a target. If they hadn't hit the target, in fact, they were supposed to hit it in March, they didn't hit it, we didn't go. But because they hit it in May, we did take them to Las Vegas and Chris Angel's show. And boy, Francois can tell you, he and Nate were hitting the craps table and killing it. One of our guys won, what was it, like $6,000 in machine? I don't know, just some lucky word crap. But that experience happened because they hit a number, right? So what are some different emotional drivers you can use in your business that will make you work harder and do more, create exponential growth for you, for your team members? One my wife and I had, we wanted to go on a 9-day cruise in the Caribbean for our 20-year anniversary. 5 stops. We did that in June. Again, I told her we were only going to do it if we hit one of the big targets that we set for ourselves. We hit it, so we went. My boys had to do some things for us to go to Lake Powell in July. We did, right? So use these same types of target ideas, and planning. Your children should have a plan that they want to accomplish in 2023 and hold them accountable, right? So whatever it is, whatever that experience is, and maybe it's something that you can do, a home improvement, whatever it is, create a metric, a target, an emotional driver that you can do, and put that in the business plan, right? So what emotional driver will help you to make one more call, one more text, one more outreach, one more knocked on door, one more cold call, one more, whatever that one more is for you? Have an emotional driver and watch what happens. All right. Next, daily analytics for success. Think people instead of money. All right, we're seeing some good ones here. Barbara says, to complete my retirement home in San Felipe. That sounds awesome. Agreement says, I will be providing an educational vocational training platform. I like it Francois says he's going on a sky dinner either in Miami or Dubai. Dang, Dubai, that sounds wild. Because I hit my goals in real estate this year. Congratulations. That is awesome. Yeah, no, the Dubai one sounds kind of fun. I have not been to Dubai. Margie says, satisfied is never the goal. Excited about accomplishing it is the goal. Exactly right. Francois says, I will need to help 300 business owners double the amount I have helped this year. And Joe's dream is a luxury home in Costa Rica. It's a beautiful area there. One of my friends, McCain, his wife, Cammie, bought actually a luxury dream home in Costa Rica, had him on the podcast earlier this year. Their son plays soccer. They actually fly from Costa Rica to Utah and back all the time, but great people, and it's a great area. So let's talk about daily analytics. So what daily, weekly, and monthly metrics or KPIs, key performance indicators, do you need to hit to achieve your 2023 dream breakthrough results? And this is where you need to look at creating micro goals. So if you know that in order to achieve your goals in 2023, you need to help 100 clients, get your product or service, well, let's do some math. If it's 100 clients in 2023 or 1,000, whatever it is, divide that by 50 weeks. Assume you're going to take at least 2 weeks off, maybe more, but divide it by 50 weeks or 12 months, whichever you want to do. If we do that in this example, 100 divided by 12 is 8, about 8.33, I believe. And that breaks down into about 2 a week, right? 8 a month divided by 4 weeks in a month. All right, so now 100 or 1,000 might look like this really big number, but when I break it down into weekly, well, it's just 2 a week. Well, I can do that. I can find 2 clients to get funding or to close or to buy my product or service in a week. So now this is where you need to learn and know your numbers. If you know these, then it's easy. If you don't, then part of your first quarter of 2023 is learning the numbers. How many leads and prospects do you need to reach out to in order to close 20 clients per week? Is it 50? Is it 100? Is it 10? Is it 200? What is that number? And how are you reaching out to them? How are you generating them? Are you doing it on social media? Are you doing it through Facebook marketing ads? Are you doing it with an affiliate partner program? That is what drives our business. We have over 7,000 business coaches, consultants, trainers, and loan brokers who use our funding marketplace to help their clients get financing. And that is the lifeblood of our business and drives it forward. So how are you going to generate those clients? And how many do you need to bring in on a daily basis? How many calls are you going to need to make on a day? Begin with that end in mind, and then the daily micro goals. Now you know what you need to do. Now you can hold yourself accountable. And maybe you've got a full-time job and this side hustle business, you're going to have to run it on the side. So the most important thing is, where are you going to get those hours, right? You need to schedule the time you're going to work on your business, on your side hustle, to make that happen and get your business growing. And that's where schedule comes into play. So these daily analytics, very important. Before, we talked a lot about the emotional drivers. This is kind of the logic, right? We have the dreams, the emotions that are half of us, and then the other half is the work, the mechanics, as Tony Robbins says, to achieve what we want to and make 2023 the breakthrough year. So for example, let's say I want to provide funding for 5,000 business owners in 2023. And if I know that 20% of all funding leads become clients, then I need to generate 5 times more leads than the number of clients I need, right? So I'm going to need to generate at least 25,000 leads in order to help 5,000 clients. And then I can start breaking it down, right? 25,000 leads, that's roughly 2,000 per month. That's 500 per week. And now it starts to get real detailed. It's about 100 a day. That's what I need to do. So how am I going to get 500 leads in a week? Well, I need to bring in more funding partners because they've got my leads, right? I need to bring in more affiliate partners, because their clients need the money. They need access to the financing. So how can I bring in 350 funding partners? Do I need to create a funnel, a sales funnel on YouTube? Do I need to learn a new skill of creating a video? Do I just need to go knock on doors? Or do I need to find an association of e-commerce business owners or people who are who are restaurant owners and they're already in a group, and I just need to reach out to the leader of the group and do a presentation to them. There's all these different ways that I can bring these people in. Now I know what I need to do, and now it's just a matter of figuring out how to do it. So in this example, let's say I need to bring in 350 funding partners a month. That's about 90 per week. That breaks down into about 20 a day. Well, now something that looks like such a big number, so hard to achieve, now I can see it on a micro goal daily basis. This is what my partner Ty talks about all the time. Those micro goals are what going to power you to achieve the monthly goal and the annual goal. So, all right, I've got to figure out a way to generate 20 new funding partners a day whose clients need money. And I can do that by word of mouth. I can get my website out there, social media, and I just need to take those actions. And once I can figure out a system to generate those, then it's just like clockwork and I can hit my goals and grow. And so, okay, that's what it's going to take. If I do that, if I bring in the 20 partners, people whose clients need money every day, I can sign up 400 new clients a month, 100 per week, 20 a day, and I can hit that goal of serving 5,000 business owners this year. That's an example of something that you can do where you take a big number, break it down into the micro goals and the micro tasks that it's going to take for you to achieve that goal. So there it is, daily analytics. What do you guys think? How important is it to have the emotional drivers versus the analytic drivers for your business plan? Type in that chat box. How important is that, do you think? Do you need both? Do you need both the emotional and the analytics? Margie says you need both. I definitely agree. Austin says both. Both are what make it happen, right? Sometimes, you know, regular growth happens with the mechanics, but the exponential growth really takes place when you got those emotional drivers. Yep. Barbara says both for sure. Todd, Kent, Pure Gold says Jorge, like that. Zoom user says both. Yep. Both are necessary. Each says Scott. Judy, definitely agree, guys. All right. Let's talk about funding, the fuel for your business. What investments do you need to make into your business to achieve the results you want? What do you need? When I first started this business, I went out and actually my credit was kind of stacked up at the time because of the previous business. I had to take some debts from my previous business to start this one. In fact, it was over $100,000 in debts I had to take from the previous business to start this one. So I was a little bit tight, but I knew funding really well. Obviously, it's our business. And I spoke to my mother-in-law and she agreed to be a credit partner. And I made sure that compensated her for her assistance. And we got $65,000 because I knew I was going to need money for employees. I was going to need money for marketing. I did Facebook ads and Facebook marketing when we started this. And lo and behold, of that 65,000, I used 50 of it within about 4 to 5 months. And within a year, we paid it all back down to zero because I knew what we needed and we used that money the right way. So what does your business need to grow in 2023? Is it lead generation? Is it a better website? Is it paying someone to really figure out the marketing to bring in your dream clients, right? Do you have access to a line of credit? The worst thing is to get a loan and have to pay it back and you're not really sure what you need it for, right? But if you have lines of credit or if you have 0% interest business personal credit cards you can use for your business, well, those are great because they're available and you're not paying on them until you use them. And if you have access to those, now I've got the ability to pull the trigger when the right opportunity comes my way. Also, you can earn free cash back through your cards. For example, those Disney World tickets, I didn't pay for them. My business credit card did because I earned cashback rewards by running my expenses, both personal and business, through my cashback cards. And those free cashback points paid for the Disney World trips, right? And so if we're not using some of these smart money strategies, we need to be using them. Do you have future funding you can qualify for based on new growth and sales, right? Let's say I know I need to get this business up to doing $500,000 a year, netting 100,000. Once I do, then I'm going to be able to qualify for a bigger business line of credit. So I'm already thinking about my future funding. I'm thinking about my funding now. I'm thinking about my future funding later. The time to lock in funding is before you need it, not when you need it. When you need it, oh, you might not qualify. If you can figure out how to qualify now, get access to money now, especially in a revolving credit format, then you're not paying on it until you actually need it, and then it's ready for you. So there it is. Todd says, line of credit, website marketing. Barbara says, tighten up my presentation. Good stuff, guys. Emotional drivers for the push. Agreement says needs 200,000. I like it. Those are the things that you're going to need to make 2023 your year. The funding is going to be fuel to make that happen, right? All right. What enemies and competitors can push you? Guys, this one's interesting. This one's interesting. Who are those enemies that are going to push you to take action that you might not take without them? And how important is it? Type in the chat box, what do you guys think? Is it important? How important is it for you to have enemies that are driving you in your business? Or is it a bad thing? I know we're not all the same. Some of us have different personalities, but how important do you guys think this is? Ossis has got to beat the competitors. You do. But sometimes it's not even the competition. Sometimes it's just that naysayer. Sometimes it's someone who, was always saying negative crap to you when you were growing up. Sometimes it's even somebody who's a supposed friend, family, right? Valerie says it's a great thing. I like to prove people wrong. Me too, Valerie. Anita says, helps you set your bar higher. Ken says it's good motivation sometimes. All relatives who don't believe in you. Hey, we all have them, right? Best revenge, massive success. I completely agree. All right. What friends have doubted you? Are naysayers? What family have doubted you? Are naysayers? And it constantly talking shit. I don't usually curse in these, but sometimes we got to be real. There are people talking shit, saying all sorts of negative things, naysaying, oh, I've got this business idea. I want to do this. I'm so excited. Oh, that's never going to work. Oh, Joey, you're going to fail. Oh, no. Barbara, you don't even know what you're talking about. Margie, Sam, you guys are crazy. That'll never work. That'll never work. You know how many people have said that to me in my life? Lots of people, right? I grew up in a small town. Beaver is the name of this town in southern Utah. And there were always naysayers, always. And all those naysayers, here's a pop quiz for you. Of all the people that talk shit that are naysayers out there, how many of them have ever achieved anything you would want to achieve? Type in the chat box. How many of them have actually done something? I'm going to tell you, in my experience, none of them. Because all those people that are busy talking shit have never done anything. But if I talk to one of my mentors or an entrepreneur who's accomplished great things, who's been through tough times, I never hear them talk like that ever. Will they ask me tough questions to make me think? Absolutely. But successful people don't talk like that. So it's exactly right. You guys are exactly right. 0, 0, none, says Brian, Barbara, Morgan, Kent, Tiffany. Exactly right. None of them have done anything. Way too many to mention. Sooner or later, gotta let the shit go. And exactly right, Jimmy. They're just, it's negative energy. Sometimes you need to cut the fat. You're going to go into 2023. It's time for you to start assessing who are the friends and family who want more, who have a higher standard, who believe in dreams, who are there to encourage you and believe and help you and support you. Those are the people you need around you. All the negative naysayers, shit talkers, it might be time to cut the fat and move on from them. It doesn't mean we're not family anymore. Maybe you see them once or twice a year, but we're not going to be involved because they're not helping. And we are the sum of the 5, 10 people we hang out with the most. So you need to hang out with great people. And that's why this community exists. All right. Are there people from where you grew up who never believed you could do anything? Any professors and teachers? So this is an amazing story. So PBD had a 1.8 GPA in high school, my mentor, right? So not the best, guy at regurgitating stuff, which doesn't matter that much anymore. School system is broken, as we all know, and needs some help, especially for teaching entrepreneurship, money, credit. But he struggled in high school, mostly because he was bored. He was really good at math, really good at numbers. The rest of it, he was just really bored at. And there was this teacher who told him he would never amount to anything. He was going to be a failure for the rest of his life. So when he was 26, 27, he had turned his life around. He was a successful financial services insurance agent, and it would eventually build a business in the insurance industry that he would sell for $400 million, which he did just a few months ago. And so he goes back to his school and he sees his old teacher there, and he's been invited. He's actually going to be a keynote speaker for the whole school. And she doesn't know it's him, but she knows that there's this amazing, previous student whose former students coming to share a message. And so he sits down by her and she's like, yeah, you need to pay attention. This guy coming to speak is super successful, Patrick. He's done all these amazing things, building a successful business. You should take notes. You should take notes. Oh, wow. And Patrick's like, wow, I'll sure pay attention. Teacher Mrs. whatever her name was. And then when they announce finally that he's the speaker and he stands up to go up and speak, that look on her face. And that teacher was one of the big enemies, shit talkers that drove him to amazing success. So who are those people in your life that are the naysayers? For me, I can tell you, when I started this company, 7 Figures Funding, my previous business partners, all those guys did was talk shit, negative, especially behind your back to other people, to our employees. Like, this is what they did. They were cancers out there. And you got those people, you better believe that I was thinking about kicking their butt every single day. And when we doubled and tripled the amount of 5-star reviews they had, and doubled and quadrupled the team that we've got compared to theirs, it's not even a competition anymore. But having them as enemies was super helpful. And so have some enemies. Do you come from a marginalized community where outside forces keep people down traditionally? Well, let's show them that they're wrong. They don't know what's inside of you. They don't know what you can do. 80, 90% of self-made millionaires in this country are self-made. They didn't, inherit it. In fact, most people that inherit money lose it because they didn't have to go through the struggle to earn it. So use this as fuel. Write yourself a list and review it often. All right, next, you need to build a team. To succeed at the highest level in your profession, you must build a team. Solopreneurs rarely achieve the type of freedom they desire. But even as a solopreneur, you can have a team, someone who helps you in marketing, who's like a contractor, someone who helps you in sales, someone who helps you with the tech stuff. I mean, I don't know all this tech stuff. That's why I have great coders, right? I have, marketing people that help me with YouTube, with Facebook. Those are people that you need on your team. And again, that's why the funding is important, because then you have the funding to pay for them, right? So ensure that your team buys in and adheres to the values and principles of your culture. You can fire people who aren't even, if that person isn't helping you, then you go find someone who is, right? Someone who fits your values and principles, who focuses on solution, who follows through, who holds you accountable, right? So build a team that's powered by systems and processes. That's going to allow you to scale. When you have the right people on the bus, even if you need to change directions, you can, because you got the right people. But if you have the wrong people on the bus, even if you have the right product and service, like I did in my previous business, it's not going to work out until you got the right people on the bus. So building a team is very important. Doesn't mean you're hiring a bunch of employees. Maybe they're contractors. Maybe they're people that just help you in different areas of the business, but they're part of your team. And then eventually you get your first employee. You get a virtual assistant in the Philippines who is amazing at doing all of that, timely work. And now you don't have to do it. They'll do the posts on LinkedIn. They'll do this, they'll do that, right? You need to find that virtual assistant and then maybe a personal assistant. And then away you go and you start to grow because you have a team that's doing a lot of the work for you. So you're doing the $100 per hour work and they're doing the $15 an hour work. And that's how you build a business. If you are constantly doing the $15 an hour work, year after year after year, you're never going to make progress. So sometimes as you start to make profits, you have to sacrifice and put those towards hiring someone so you can grow, and you'll be happy you do, because then you'll actually be able to go on vacation and keep making money because you build a business instead of a job. So that's going to allow you to buy your time back, and then you can work on the business instead of always in the business. Now, that said, there's a time and a place for that. At the beginning, you have to do the work in the business. It is you. It is learning sales. It is learning marketing. But once you get to a certain point, then you can start to hire people and replace different jobs that they can do for you so you can do the stuff that's actually going to build and grow that business. Like I said, a team also can mean a CPA, an attorney, a funding advocate, someone who's good at marketing for you. They don't have to necessarily be an employee. Yeah, exactly right. Shares your vision. Yep, let them go, says Jimmy. Move forward, exactly right. Get rid of that negative energy. Damien says, I've already eliminated naysayers in my life. Great job. Great job. You're just that much more ahead when you can get rid of those harnesses that are holding you down. Anita says, if someone isn't depositing, they are withdrawing. We do not have time for them. Amen. Friends and family, very toxic environment, says Austin. Marie says, my high school guidance told me I would never get into the university, graduated from and played collegiate basketball. Hell yeah, Marie. That's exactly. And then you hold these things and now you've got proof and evidence when you prove people wrong. And every time you go through adversity, you remember back to that. Hey, I actually did prove them wrong, right? I remember for me going into my senior year of high school, the first time I'd ever really written a goal down to work towards as a small high school, not a big deal. But for me, it was a big deal. The time was to start quarterback for our high school team. People were talking, negative, oh, you're not going to be able to do that, this, that, and the other. I did do it, and it was working at it every single day. So when you get obsessed with something, the sky is the limit. And I can tell you this, I've seen a lot of people who don't have tremendously, like these are not rocket scientists, geniuses, who are multimillionaires because they got really good at one thing. Okay, so we've completed the 8th part of the business plan, the 9th part of it, the 9th pillar. Well, we actually need to write the business plan, right? So we need to take a week or two to let these ideas simmer. And when you get a good idea, write it in your phone, carry around a little journal, write these ideas down. Sometimes they come to us in the bathroom, we're on the toilet seat taking a dump. Oh, that's a good idea. I better text myself that, or I better write that note down, or honey, hey, remember this, write these things down, because good ideas are going to come. Sometimes you're in the shower, sometimes you're driving, wherever you're at, make sure you have something, and we've got these phones, right? You should be able to just, even if it's a text message, iPhone notes, put that note in there as the ideas come. Schedule specific times over the next few days to write your business plan and complete it by January 1st, 2023, so you can hit that first month hard. And then each month, each week, you're going to meet and you might make some adjustments. You might make some pivots to your business plan, and then put your business plan. I like having a one-pager if I can. I might have a detailed 4 or 5 pages of everything I'm going to do in the business plan, but then I'll get very detailed. Here's the emotional drivers. Here's the numbers I want to hit. Here's how I'm going to do it. if I can have that in one page and have that one pager in the mirror in my bathroom, in my home office, in my bedroom, wherever, I want to be able to see it every single day. If you can create a vision board, have some pictures of you doing some of those cool things you want to do that you're going to do once you hit some targets, that's going to be really effective as well. Now, part of this is scheduling a weekly money date to review how you're doing. So here's how this works. Excuse me. So you're going to have this weekly money date. You're going to look at your business plan. You're going to look at how the business is doing. You're going to look at how your personal finances is doing, your credit. And by reviewing all of these things, this is going to help you make progress every single week. And then you can be honest and accountable. How did we do this week? Oh, you know what? I got to do this better. And you don't have to get all pissed off and upset at yourself. You're just going to identify, I'm going to do this better this week. And you just keep getting better. You just keep stacking progress. But you have to do this weekly meeting with yourself, maybe your partner, maybe your spouse, if they're involved with this too. But go over the business's money, go over your money. One of the best ways to do that is when you log into the myfigures.com money app. You can have all of your bank accounts, all of your loans, all of your credit cards, all of your properties, your business, everything in there, and then be managing and looking at that at your money date. So I do this every single week. For me, it's Sunday afternoon. I do it Sunday afternoon after we've had like a Sunday lunch after church. I'm going to spend an hour. My wife knows I'm going to go in the home office. I'm going to go through all the numbers. And this money app helps you to do this. The next thing, and this is shocking when you go through this, there's a section called spending. And you can filter out in the myfigures.com app here. I want to see what I did personally or what my expenses were this month or this last week for the business. And you can literally start to go through these categories and break all of these things down. And the most important thing here is it should be the same time every week. If you turn it into a habit, it'll become a habit, right? But a habit takes many times. So for me, it's got to be about the same time every week. I love doing Sunday afternoons for about an hour, going through everything so you can go through all your spending. And this will be an eye-opener. You'll be like, oh, I've got this really set budget. And all of a sudden you start going through your business or your personal, like, wow, wait, why did I spend money on that? Oh, wow, I got double charged here. And wait, the income didn't come in like it was supposed to. And you'll discover all these things by having this simple weekly money meeting. And then you can start looking at, all right, what bad debts do I want to get rid of? I remember a few years ago, one of our target emotional drivers was before I started this business, I had to get rid of my previous boat. And my kids have been wakeboarding and boating, since they were all babies. So it was a big deal to us. And I'm like, I'm not getting a new boat until we've got rid of all of our bad credit card debt and all the debt we used to start the business. So I wrote all these things down. All right, we're going to pay this one off. And you better believe we busted our tail to make that happen. And so whatever it is, maybe there's some bad debt you want to pay off. Maybe there's an old medical, surgery you had to get that was unexpected 3 years ago and you're still paying on. Whatever it is, these bad debts you want to get rid of. Good debt for me pretty much comes down to any debt that I'm using for the business to make me money. That's good debt. Any debt, my mortgage that I use for my home or any other properties that make me money from rental income, that's good debt. I'm okay with a car loan. And beyond those three, if it's not business, home, real estate rental or car, I don't want to have any debt beyond that, right? Personally. And so if you have those, list those out. These are right here in the debt section. I want to pay these off. And then, of course, we want to keep track. This is a game. Money is a game. And that's why we have the net worth section in here. So you can track whether you're winning the game, right? Is my savings account going up? Are my investments going up? Are my real estate properties? Am I getting cash flow with it? Is my net worth increasing? Am I paying the bad debts down and getting assets that are making me money? Is my business becoming more valuable? Is my business growing in its income, right? Am I winning the money game? That's where the net worth really helps you to track that and make sure that you're on the right path. And then you can actually start to create goals. Let's say I want a goal of, I want to have X amount towards savings for my next investment property, or I want to have this debt paid off by this date. I know I'm going to need this amount of money. Some of us have a retirement goal. I need this amount of money for retirement or for my Costa Rica house, right? Whatever it is, you could put all these goals in here, and then this is online, it's on my phone, it's secure, and instead of logging into 30 different websites, it's all right in the same spot. Margie can attest to this. You know, she instigated the Money Mondays with her spouse 1 year after this training, and it made us so much happier about discussing money. Now we go out on Monday money dates to a new place to grab a little bite to eat. Hot tip, do something you enjoy while talking about money. I like that. That is a great idea. A great idea indeed. Margie, beautifully shared there. Francois says, Margie, that is fantastic. Everybody do what Margie just said. Myfigures.com says, Austin. Guys, we actually have a Christmas special right now. It's a 30-day free trial. Again, it's only $9 a month for the Money Manager. It's right there at myfigures.com if you want to scan the cute little dinosaur. So I know it's $9 a month. It's a lot to ask, but it's pretty worth it to get your money right. And this is going to help you in doing your weekly review of your business plan, your business and personal. That's what I liked about it. I wanted something that if I'm a business owner, I can look at my business stuff and my individual family personal stuff all in one and make sure that we're making progress. And then I would also add in credit. We're going to be adding in a credit section there where you can check your credit. Is my credit score getting better? Am I paying down, credit cards? Am I making my payments on time? Because the credit is a tool. And so I need to be making progress with my credit. I need to be making progress with my income. And it's at the end of the year, did I increase? Do I have extra money to make investments, to build the life that I want, to have enough money to invest into cash flow properties and businesses, as well as go on those experience, cruise or, paradise, take your children somewhere, Disney World, whatever it is that you and your family have always dreamt of. Write these things down. I looked at my whiteboard, all those things that I did, that my family and I and our company did last year, they were all on the whiteboard. And I looked at them, and sometimes you don't even realize you're looking at them, and subconsciously you're working towards those because you've got those written down. So anyway, there's your QR dinosaur code and the myfigures.com. It's a 30-day free trial. It's a holiday special that we just wanted to put together for you guys for this. All right, now it's time to go ahead and pull out the business plan template. So again, this is a business plan template. You're just going to click on File, make a copy, and then you can customize this, put your logo there, whatever you want to do, and then make sure you take your time answering these questions, and then make sure you customize it. The very last page is where I get into kind of the nitty gritty of how many clients do I need to help? What's my top line and bottom line revenue goal? What's my personal income goal? What's my investment goals? All these things. And this is a template. So make it your own. If you want to add something in there, if you want to add the details on your enemies there, I've got that in there as well. So all of this is right here. In fact, maybe I should put this in all caps: business plan template, click File, make a copy to customize. There we go. All right. I'll just post that a couple times. So make sure you guys click on that and get to work on this. Get thinking about it. It is December 21st. So we've got, about a week and a half before January 1st. So put some time in, set that time aside, and decide when you're going to work on this. Awesome. I see dozens of you are clicking on it and logging into it. Perfect. That's the whole idea. Make sure you do. Does the app help automate payments? It does, because it indicates when your next payment is. So you still have to kind of set up the auto pay through the initial account, but then you'll see when every payment is due. And then in real time, you'll see when those payments are made and when the next payment is due. And so it's nice and easy to manage all that. Barbara says, great tip. Margie, appreciate you sharing that. All right, Jimmy's got it. Francois, perfect. Well, guys, it's been fun. What questions do you guys have? It went I was thinking about 90 minutes, so it's gone a little bit longer than I anticipated, but we covered everything, and I'm excited to, hear about your guys' business plans and the results, but definitely excited to see, answer any other questions you guys have. Any other thoughts or ideas? Does the app auto categorize transactions? Yes, it does. And you got 30 days to check it out and get the ins and outs of it as well. Can you post the link for the My Figures app again? Yes, I can. So it's pretty easy to remember. It's just myfigures.com. I've also got a short video right there on the home page. And so if you guys scroll down, there's a short video that kind of does a demo for you on the Money app. And so just to show you guys what that looks like. So it's just right here at myfigures.com. And you just scroll down here and you can press play and watch the short video, and it will do a quick little demo there for you. There it is. There's the link to the My Figures Money app. And yes, anybody who would like to learn more about Funding CEO Academy in the funding space, Francois got that link. Francois is one of our top funding CEOs. He'll actually take you through the process there. And I am going to just put that business plan template in the chat box, so it's right there for you guys one more time. All right, let's see. So much more in the My Figures app. Thank you, Marie. Appreciate that. Let's see. Dennis says, for my startup with my bad credit, where would be the best place to search? Actually, there is, we have Credit College. And if you go to softpullcredit.app, you can get free access to our Credit College. And that's the biggest thing. Like, no one taught us about credit in college and high school. And so that's a good place to start with, hey, this is how your credit score is calculated. The big thing is you want to get, a $3,000 credit card limit and a $5,000 to $10,000 auto loan. If you can get those two accounts and build from there, then that's a good place to start with credit. Is this recorded for us to rewatch? Yes, it is, Morgan. We will be emailing out the replay link to you guys, and you'll get it tomorrow morning. No problem, Michael. We will absolutely get that replay emailed out to you guys. So that will go out to you. The business template is not opening. You may need access to a Gmail email, but other than that, you should see it. So you should be able to click on. Is everybody look? I can see we got 37 people on the business plan template. So I think most of us are able to. It might be something with your computer. Is everybody able to download and get access to that business plan template? Okay, Jimmy says it's opening on my iPad Pro and my MacBook. Perfect. Margie says, yes, it's working. Morgan says, thank you. Michael, right, thank you, perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. The nose, it should just pull up. Should just pull up for you guys. You just post it in there. I've got it accessible. I wonder if you do need to have a Gmail email set up. That might be the requirement because it is a Google Doc. So you might need that. I'll do you guys a quick favor here, though. I will save this as a PDF and post this in the channel too. That way, in case anybody can't open it, should let me do that. So let me just grab this here. We'll just put it right in there. There it is. All right, there it is. I just put the PDF in there too. So in case you're unable to go ahead and click on that Google document link, then you can download the PDF right there as well. Yep, exactly right. Yep, you can just save it right there as a PDF. But yeah, if you're trying to edit it, you won't be able to edit it until you actually click File and make a copy. And then to do that, you probably will need to have a Gmail account and be logged in at gmail.com to a Gmail email address to be able to do that, I would guess. But in case anybody can't, yeah, exactly. You probably just need the Gmail. Okay, awesome. Well, guys, it's been fun. It's been a good time. We had great attendance to this workshop. But most importantly, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the Seven Figures Partners Facebook group. Reach out to us. Let us know how your business plan is coming along and your goals for 2023. And then just be consistent, right? Keep working on this. And don't be afraid to pivot and make changes to it throughout the year, and especially on those weekly, money dates, reviewing your business plan. It's good to make changes and stay on top. All right, Glenn, Jimmy, Hallie, Bill, guys, appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the community and sharing. It was an amazing time tonight. Merry Christmas to everybody on Sunday. Enjoy your time with family and schedule that time. Schedule that time. We all have a lot of downtime over the next couple of weeks. Schedule some time where, hey, let everyone know I'm going to go work on this business plan so we can have a great life in 2023. Let the family know that when you do, take the actions, make it happen. And also think about what books you need to read based on the different new skills you need to acquire to achieve your 2023 goals as well. All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thanks for spending time with us. Enjoy your time with your family, the ones you love, and we will see you next time. We'll be doing these on a regular basis, usually once a month for all of our funding clients. So check in, look for your email. We'll have some different training workshops. They'll be free throughout the year in 2023.